Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I'm Christian Garcia, Rhode Island Fields consultant, mom, and when we're not in quarantine, I'm also a hairstylist. So the last video I talked about finding a new normal when we were told to stay at home. Now we're kind of slowly navigating and everybody's coming out of their homes. People are slowly going back to work. Businesses are reopening, so it's very exciting, but it's also something new to navigate. So what I really want to get to talking about today is how this new normal is going to affect you, and either the way that your work is affected, or if you're a business owner, how that's going to be affected. Because as we all know, even though the states are slowly opening up, it doesn't mean that we're going to go back to how things were. Right? The CDC released some guidelines as far as how we can safely open up. And I know that all the states are doing it differently. Some are opening up much quicker than others, but I feel like everyone has to follow a general set of rules, which one would be we have to wear masks when we're out in public. The other being social distancing would still need to be followed. So those are some of the general guidelines that I feel like no matter what business, no matter what state, people are going to have to follow. I'm going to try to break things down as simple as I can for the different industries that are being affected, starting with hairstylists because I am a hairstylist, and how this new normal, while we're opening up, how it's going to affect us. If you work in a salon, right, the social distancing that's required, being 6 feet apart, means that each and every chair in the salon, depending on the space and the layout, may not be filled. So either your hours are going to be cut, or the hours and the days that you work are going to be longer because they can't have, as much stylists as they're used to at one time in the salon. Another thing that would affect is any hairstylist or professional who double books somebody. So for renters, if you're a booth renter, I know a lot of booth renters that like to double and even sometimes triple book if they have an assistant. And that's going to kind of be impossible while still keeping a 6 feet space between your two clients and the space that you're renting. So that is going to be something that you will have to compensate for. And how, if you can't double book, then it means working longer hours or taking a cut in pay. For salon owners, the same thing. Your every single chair cannot be filled if the layout of your salon doesn't allow that. So now your stylists are either having to work longer hours, or lose out on what they could be making. So I know a few salon owners, renters, that were very excited to be opening, but the logistics of it and how it's going to work and how it's going to affect people's income is something that we're going to have to see as we start to go back to work. So the same goes for nail salons, any type of beauty salon that maybe might not be a big space now has to try to figure out how many people they can service safely while still keeping the 6 feet apart distance. Any small business owners, and really what this is a capacity issue, right? In a salon, in a store, in anything, you're gonna have less clients, less customers because of the capacity and the 6 feet apart, and that means either less income or more hours. And I know for me as a hairstylist, I chose to become a hairstylist because I didn't want to work long hours. And it's very unfortunate, it's not even the word, it's devastating, that this pandemic hit and that now that has to be a new reality for people. I read somewhere that a salon was going to be open as early as 5 a.m. and as late as maybe 7 or 9. That's literally all day. So now venturing out of the beauty industry, I'm also thinking about people in the customer service industry, the restaurants, waiters and waitresses, the bars even, airline workers. So if you think about it, because of the capacity issue, because of people having to be 6 feet apart, that means less tables open in restaurants. So if there are less tables and less guests dining in, then they're not going to need all of their servers. And I know a lot of servers that depend on the tips that they make because it's much better than the hourly pay that they get. But now even that is in question because either the restaurant's going to be open longer or they're going to have to cut some people because, you know what I mean, they're not needed. Airline workers, I know my husband has been not working because their flights have gone from, 17, 20 flights a day to 2. That's a lot of people needed to service flights, and now that they're down to a limited amount, they don't need the workers at the moment. Same for flight attendants. So it's like a trickle down effect. Everybody's excited that things are opening back up, but it's like, who are they going to keep and who are they going to say, we can't have you at the moment. And that's a very scary thought for a lot of people. Now, even though things are reopening and we're doing it in phases, that's promising, but it's not for sure. So I was looking at the CDC guidelines for, everything that they're trying to open up and what they're requiring. And I read that businesses should be, I'm reading because this is exactly what the document said. It said, be prepared to consider closing for a few days if there is a case of COVID-19 in the workplace, or for longer if cases increase in the local area. So yes, things are opening up, but really we're testing the waters right now. So while people might be excited that they don't have to, fight to log into the unemployment website and they can go back to work, I hope there isn't, but if there is another surge in cases, and it depends on the area, right, or even in your workplace, then it has to shut down again. And then that's more hours lost, and it's just like a cycle. Basically, so I had this conversation with one of my friends and business partners, and it really got me to thinking that not only is this affecting me as a hairstylist, but I know a lot of other people that are in the customer service industry that depend on the one job that they have. And if it's not that, then it's unemployment. Hopefully it comes through. So really what I'm talking about here is having something in place that can sustain you when everything else is kind of unsure still. Having options. Okay, so that's where Rodan & Fields can come in, because ever since I've been at home since the end of March, I've still been working my business. I've still been building my business. Customers are still ordering their skincare, and I'm still getting paid. And that is something that's so huge to have in the uncertainty of right now. And that's honest talk. What Rodan & Fields can do for you is fill in what's missing, right? For the hairstylist that can't double book now and that doesn't want to work until 9 o'clock at night from 6 o'clock in the morning just to make up that loss, is you can actually still have time, still have income, and still have options, even if the salon cuts your hours or your days. Or as a salon owner, because you're not being able to make money from, however many chairs that need to be skipped in order to account for the 6 feet apart. This is a way that you could bring an income so that you're not, that chair is just not, I mean, the chair is sitting there, but you can bring an income for your salon even though you're not allowed to be at full capacity. For my estheticians that are out there, I read somewhere that some salons are they're going to go back to work, but they're not going to do like lip waxes or anything on the face except the eyebrows. So now that limits your services. I know, and you know, that the more services you add on, the bigger ticket, the more commission that you make. And if you're limited to just the eyebrows, then really there's going to be a space. There's a gap, and what really I'm trying to show you is that you can fill that gap and still be able to do what you love when you're allowed to do it. So like I said before, people are going back to work. Businesses are opening up. That's exciting. I'm not downplaying that at all. That's huge, and I'm really excited. I'm excited for people to be able to go back to work. But we're just testing the waters right now, because like I read, if there's a case, if there's a surge in cases in the area, businesses may be asked to close down again, and then that puts you right back at square one if you don't adapt now. So that is what I am trying to show you, is that instead of waiting to see, when the government says I can go back to work, when my employer says how long I can work or how many hours I can work, having something in place to make up for whatever you've lost since we've been told to stay at home, and going forward, that's something that you're never going to regret. You always want to make sure that you have something to back up, and this pandemic is the biggest eye opener, right? Because nothing is stable. Teachers, there was a demand for it, and then they had to stay home. Airline workers, you know what I mean? People being furloughed, it's all the stability that people thought they had with certain jobs. It went out the window because of this global pandemic. And that's nobody's fault. But if you have the option, which you do, if you have a way to have something coming in just in case, it can be when my job says I can't work, I still have Rodan and Fields money coming in. Or if for the people I didn't even address, that things are opening up, but you're still kind of, not afraid, but it's scary for you to go back to work. You don't want to go out and possibly catch something and then bring it home to your family. I understand that. That's how I was operating. That's how I still operate. Being worried about your family is not a bad thing at all, but then now you're having to choose, am I going to keep my family safe, or am I going to go to work to make money because we need to survive? This provides you that option to not have to choose. So there's so many different ways that you could use this, and it would only be to your advantage. So I'm asking, if you are looking for a consultant to join, I would love to help you build a successful Rodan and Fields business. You can reach out to me. If you have any questions, you can find me on Instagram. It's withlove.christian. You can email me your questions. It's kristiangarcia.rf@gmail.com. And if you're ready to take this leap, you can enroll on my website. So the website is down below. There's a enroll now button for consultants, and we will get started from there. Guys, this is something that is huge to me, and I'm super passionate about. Anybody that's looking for something, we can do this. We can connect like this. We don't have to meet up, or we could. It's up to you. 6 feet apart, of course, with masks. So thank you guys for watching my video. Again, please reach out to me if you have any questions, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.